back to more of the Tony Tone Show on Muscatine's Vintage Sound, 93.1.
20 minutes after 8 o'clock on Vintage Sound, 93.1 FM, Friday morning. On Sunday, you definitely want to watch Welcome Home, which premieres at 6 o'clock Central for us. The star of Welcome Home and executive producer is Luke Perry, and Luke is on the phone right now. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. It's a little early for me, but I like it.
Luke Perry, when was the last time that you were on the phone with a radio guy in the great state of Iowa? Has it been a while?
I honestly can't remember the last time I did Iowa.
Have you ever been?
I don't know that it was Davenport last time I did it. So it should be our first time.
Well, I appreciate you waking up and doing this, buddy. And from what I can read about Welcome Home, and I'll tell you that I already set my DVR just in case I do miss it. This is going to be great. Congratulations.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. I found a story here that it touched on two things that are really important, and I think that need to be dealt with better in our country. That's cancer and homelessness. And the unfortunate what happens when those two elements get together, and you'd be surprised how much one feeds off the other. When I read this script, I didn't touch a word of it, didn't change anything. I just thought it was great. Wanted to jump in and tell the story.
Is it nice for you, Luke, at this point to be able to find a story and then decide you want to do it and then be able to get it done? And I'm not assuming that there weren't any obstacles to get to this point, but it happened.
Yeah, because well, thanks for asking. It is. It's very gratifying because it almost never happens.
Right.
It's just the odds are always against you. I don't care who you are in this town. It's very difficult to get anything made. And I got lucky because I had suggested another movie to them that I wanted to make, and we got in trouble in pre-production that wasn't working out. And the lady who runs this network, Barbara Fisher, she said, "Luke, I have this script. I've had it for probably 10 years, and I love it, and no one's wanted to make it. Would you read it?" I was 10 pages into that thing. I called her back and said, "I'm in, and I'll make this movie for you." And this is how, because it was just such a good story.
I love that. I mean, that, you know, and imagine for the guys and gals that wrote it to have it kind of be out there and just waiting for that right moment, and then it all kind of lined up, right?
Because the gentleman that wrote it, he works here in Los Angeles with the homeless community downtown, and he's had one of the longest running shelter programs going, and he wrote this movie, you know, like I said, almost 15 years ago. And he's been working at that shelter the whole time. And just because his movie about it didn't get made, you know, his commitment didn't waver.
Right.
That's what it's going to take to beat these two issues, cancer and homelessness and anything else, any problems of society. You got to stick with it. And that was the other thing that really impressed me about this story. This guy stayed with it. The script's been around a long time, and it's still a very relevant story.
Luke, in your opinion, and I would say that unfortunately in this country that homelessness is an issue that doesn't get as much of the spotlight or attention as it should. What are some ways that that you would like to see people help out? And is it just listening to people's stories? I mean, what do you think we need to do to come together to really help people?
You know, we don't all have a great deal of resource to share. You know, it's a tight time in the country now. Everybody knows that. But it doesn't always have to be give them something, give them money, give them food. It can be give them a minute of your time. Look them in the eye and listen to what's on their mind and in their heart. You'd be surprised. It's very oftentimes the same thing that's in your heart. But what's on their mind is, where am I going to sleep tonight? Where are my kids going to sleep tonight?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to feed my children? You know, a tremendous percentage of the homeless in our country are children. You know, and we got to take care of that. We can't have these people standing up there running for office telling you how great the country is, issuing, you know, a State of the Union message telling you our union's strong. If our unions are not strong enough to take care of the sick and the homeless in our country, then we're not the greatest country.
I agree.
Okay, we can't stand up there on one hand and say that, and then turn around with the other hand and not do anything.
I saw a story last week of an artist who drove across the country this summer and would purchase signs that homeless people were holding for a lot of money, and then he would hear their story and he kind of put that together. And I thought, isn't that fascinating? Because it could happen on a daily basis. You could drive around and you could see people that are unfortunately homeless holding up a sign. But imagine if you did just give them a few minutes of your time to hear their story. So he took all of those signs, Luke, and he made like a giant collage, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. It was crazy, you know?
That is fantastic. And you look at the experience he got out of it. For every one of those signs, his life bumped up against somebody's life, and hopefully they were able to make an exchange of some kind. You know, they learned something from each other, or they just had a moment. And that's all it takes, because it reminds these guys that they're part of a bigger picture. They're not completely alone. They're a human being. We see that. We get that. And, you know, just to be dealt with in that way, not to be dehumanized, but to be rehumanized, that's a step we can all take. It doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly. It just takes a little bit of your time. If you're just tuning in, Luke Perry, star executive producer of Welcome Home, premieres this Sunday, 6 p.m. Central for us on Up TV. Luke, one of your fans on Facebook was wondering, and this is a little bit off subject, but I believe her name is Mavis, wants to know when you're going to make your own Twitter account so that your fans can tweet you. Have you thought about that?
I have thought about it. Mm-hmm. I do not have a Twitter account. To anybody hearing my voice, those Twitter accounts that have my name on them are not, in fact, me. I guess, I don't know. For me, Twitter's problematic because it presumes that the whole world cares about what you have to say. I really haven't gotten to the point where I think, yeah, they need to know what I'm thinking 24/7. But if that ever occurs, you tell Mavis, I'll be the first. She'll be my first tweet. I'll get right to her.
I love it. I talked to somebody that you worked with a few weeks ago, Chris Maloney. He was on the phone with me, and you guys worked together on Oz, right?
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he is a good dude, isn't he?
He was super fun. I just wondered, you know, all the things that you've done over the years, Luke, is it, and you probably get asked this a lot, but is it weird, like, when you see people that you worked with and maybe you haven't seen them in a while, or for you, is it just like a quick hello? You stay in touch with a lot of people over the years?
I wouldn't say a lot of them because, you know, everybody's got kids, people live in different places. Harder to. So when you are working with people, you really have to represent to them who you are, your legitimate self. You know, it's a great thing I love about actors. We get real intimate real quick, and no bullshit. You really get to know who they are and what they're about. And once you've done that with somebody, you've always got that together. And if you have a good experience working with each other after you know each other really well, then yeah, every time you see each other, you just kind of like, oh yeah, we had a great time, and you can oftentimes pick up right where you left off.
I love it.
And then sometimes, because actors are total freaks, that's not the case. And you see somebody, and they barely remember that you spent that time together. So it kind of covers all nature of the spectrum. But when I see Maloney, yeah, it's always good. I saw Chris. We worked together again on a show, and it was just great because you hit the ground running. Somebody you know.
I love it. No, it's good to hear. Well, listen, buddy, I know you got to go. You're doing more of these interviews, and I just want to say thank you, and I'm excited to watch Welcome Home on Sunday night. Again, folks, 6 o'clock Central. It's on Up TV. Luke Perry, have a great day, buddy, and if you're ever in the great state of Iowa, look me up, and I will show you around, okay?
Right, dude, that is a deal, and thank you so much this morning. You're a gracious gentleman. Thank you for allowing me to talk about my project. To those of you in Iowa, have a good day.
All right, Luke Perry, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yes, sir.
See ya.